welcome back to another episode of the Double or Nothing podcast. Thank you for everyone tuning in. Last week I was in Boston again for work. Shout out to Taylor for filling in for me once again. Well, I'm trying not to make it a weekly occurrence. I feel bad. It's like last second. It's like every Tuesday or Thursday I have to go down there, and it's like cuts right into before the Thursday night game.
Yeah. I was a little nervous that she was going to beat me in the picks. Thank God she didn't.
Oh, yeah. How'd you guys finish out?
I went one game over 500, and Taylor, I think, went 3 under. So
not bad.
But it was close to the end. It was just I got lucky in a couple of the picks. She took the Bills. I took the Rams. She took the Eagles. I took the Panthers. So
did you watch the end of that Bills-Rams game?
I didn't watch the end of it, no.
Oh, man. I mean, McVay, the Rams were up 3. It was 4th and 5 with I forget, a minute and a half left. And he went for it on 4th and 5, on their side of the field instead of taking the field goal.
Oh, a little Dan Campbell action?
A little Dan Campbell action, gets it, and then they end up scoring a touchdown to go up 10, So it was to me, I was yelling on my couch, how is he going for this on 4th and 5 and field? I was like, you're about to turn down being up 6 because you don't trust your defense to stop someone from scoring a touchdown? I understand, if it's,
And it ended up working out, right?
It ended up working out.
Yeah, wow.
And I guess, I listened to a couple podcasts this week, and they were like...
They really don't trust it?
No, they were like, oh, he did the right thing. The numbers say he should have went for it there.
Wow.
Because more often than not, Buffalo wouldn't be in such a rush with that little time to score a touchdown, but instead they would settle for a field goal to tie to go to overtime. I would just take the 6 and be like, defense, there's a minute left on the game. All we have to do is not let them score a touchdown.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just dead wrong on stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess it's tough. It's tough. I always agree with taking points when you can get them, especially when you're playing good teams.
I did agree with Campbell went for it on 4th and 1 with the tie game against Green Bay. Because it was, but when I saw Jared Goff almost fall during the handoff, I was like, oh God, this is going to be great to talk about next year.
I mean, I hated it. I'm not a big, I love Dan Campbell, obviously, as a guy, as he gets his team fired up and it works, but it's just until he outshines his fucking mishap in the NFC Championship game, I'm not so sure he's not going to do the same thing.
He went for it on 4th down 5 times against the Packers last week, and they got it 4.
Yeah.
So
I mean, hey, good for him. I mean, all
it takes in the playoffs is
one time.
Is that one time.
Yeah, that's
for it
that's
not
where
to work.
That's what happens though. People get sucked into the vortex, the Dan Campbell vortex of, oh my God, he's winning. It's a winning mentality. And that's all fine and dandy, because even if he does lose a game, like when he lost against Dallas, it was everyone had a shit fit, but it was during the regular season. It didn't really matter. It was stupid, but didn't really matter. But now, when you do it in the NFC Championship game and cost your team possibly what would have been a Super Bowl, maybe, it's a bigger deal.
All that stuff happens, and then the Lions fans, who I love, will sit there and they'll tell you, oh, well, if Josh Reynolds could catch the ball, they would have converted the 4th down. It's like, well, sometimes that happens.
Yeah,
where,
of course.
A guy
that's all part of the risk.
Yeah.
That's all part of the calculated risk.
Yeah.
Your play could be perfect, and they still could not get it.
Yeah. Or one guy on the offensive line could let a defensive lineman go by and rush, throw, bad, little off target, and boom, a guy drops it. That's kind of what happened.
Yeah, exactly. So I disagree with his mentality, but hey, his mentality's got him to 12-1. So
I know, absolutely legendary run by them. But I was pretty pumped to see him go for it. You know what? You were probably happy to see Jordan Love lose the game. So
of course. I mean, I think the Packers are fantastic, but I just don't think Jordan Love's that good. And then I have people sending me videos after the game.
Stop.
Sessa sent me a video. I was like, this was pretty incredible though, and it was the pass where he was getting hit and launched it this way, and it was a perfect on the money pass and tight coverage. It was great. It was an unbelievable throw. But it's dude, you're in the NFL. You're starting quarterback. You should be able to make that throw. I mean, not to say that everybody can, but there's a lot of quarterbacks that can make unbelievable, unorthodox athletic throws. But, when you throw sub 60%, throw under 200 yards and a touchdown.
It looks pretty while he's doing it. He's got the good, wrist spin. He looks cool while doing it. So,
you got a guy who nobody thought nobody on planet Earth would have taken Malik Willis to be their third quarterback. Like their backup. Not one person on planet Earth would have Malik Willis as their backup quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
He stepped into this Packers team who played like a Pro Bowler.
3 wins this year.
Played like a Pro Bowler. So it's like, I think that the Jordan Love narrative will continue just like the Jalen Hurts narrative has continued. Like that he is this unbelievable quarterback and everyone's just waiting on this moment. Well, we've been waiting for a long time with Jalen Hurts.
I know. So did you saw what came out? Like the defensive player for the Eagles came out and said like
Brandon Graham, right?
Yeah, they're not friends right now.
Yeah, they're not friends. Yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't be friends with a guy either who can't throw the football. Yeah, I mean, like AJ Brown is in the same tier. I mean, he's not because of Jalen Hurts, but the only reason he's not in the same tier as Jettas and Chase is because of Jalen Hurts. Like, like if he played on the Lions, he's in that same category. If he played on the Vikings, he's in the same category. If he played on any of these teams with an okay quarterback, I'm talking Jared Goff. I'm talking Sam Darnold. I'm not talking Patty Mahomes, Matt Stafford. I'm not talking the Joe Burrows. Like if he played with anybody who can throw the ball at an above average level, I mean, he'd be a top 2, top 3. I mean, he's already top 5, and he plays with Jalen Hurts.
Well, I mean, you look at his stats and like the yards, he's up there with these guys. But the catches, he has like 30 less catches with the same amount of yards, or like 20 less catches, and it's like insane. Like
I saw a blind rating of him and Jettas, and everyone picked AJ Brown, and then they showed the faces, and it was AJ Brown. He has like 46 touchdowns. Yeah. Like it's crazy. Like the guy is unbelievable. It's just. Jalen Hurts just is not what people think he is. But it's finally coming out now. I mean, like it takes people in an entire season because they beat the Giants and the Cowboys, and everyone goes nuts. And he's the MVP caliber quarterback, and he's playing good. But all it takes is a few weeks of being like, wow, this guy really can't throw the football that well, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, I think their offense is just completely morphed into like run. Like we're just going to run the ball, and then like. The trade-off of A.J. Brown losing stats is Saquon Barkley is going to be the offensive player of the year.
Yeah, no, I get that. But I think even beyond that, I think, like, obviously Saquon's taken off and done the right thing. But, like, even you see A.J. Brown wide open on plays that are pass plays. Yeah. And Jalen Hurts isn't even on the same stratosphere as the guy. He's not even, like, they're, like, not on the same page by 1,000.
Listen, I love Hurts, but there are some weeks that I watch, I'm like, man, he misses a lot of throws. Yeah. But it's like masked in this offense.
I mean, I had the Panthers money line.
Oh yeah, plus what was it? Plus 900,
plus 700. I had him money line. And I mean, you're Xavier Leggett catching the football away from winning.
I know. Did you see that video? He was on a Monroe St. Brown's.
Yeah, eating raccoons. That guy is shot. That guy is shot. I love him. He's on my fantasy team, but
he is.
But that guy is. Woof. Talk about a strange. I've seen some strange cats in my day. That guy takes the cake, man. Holy smokes!
I love him. I think he's hilarious.
Dude's eating raccoons on Thanksgiving. I think in the interview he said his kids killed it.
Oh, his kids?
I think he said. I mean, don't quote me on this. I think he said in the interview his kids killed the raccoon. He's like, I got my people hunting. I got my people who hunt it. My kids killed it.
I wonder how he cooks it. Oven?
Oh God, dude, who knows? That guy is out of his mind. He's pretty good though.
He's great. You know, I saw someone in a comment off the T. Higgins thing saying, hey, get T. Higgins to Carolina. I would love that. If he went and played with Bryce Young and just got 75 targets a game.
I know. Yeah, he would be good.
He would be good. Next to each other would just be awesome.
And Thielen?
And Thielen.
Yeah, Thielen would play the slot, right?
Listen, they're starting to look real good.
Yeah.
They're starting, we'll get into their game a little bit, but
yeah, all right. Do you want to do a would you rather to kick it off because it did pretty well?
Pick up where the with the AJ Brown.
All right, yeah. So I guess we'll do that. I guess a would you rather AJ Brown edition, and we'll just go down the list. AJ Brown or DK Metcalf?
AJ Brown. It's got to be right. I love.
Yeah,
DK.
I would do AJ Brown as well, but DK's played really well.
I honestly think they're in like a same situation right now with. Like DK's not getting thrown the ball as much anymore.
But JSN's murdering.
Jackson Smith and Jigba, I think, is like number 7 in fantasy.
Dude, he's murdering right now. So we didn't even bring him up in the wide receiver. I would take him over T. Higgins as well.
I traded him in the Dynasty League for peanuts to Greg.
Oh.
Because I was like,
Yeah, I gotcha. I understand why.
And then DK Metcalf gets hurt, and now he's just like on.
He's putting up Ohio State numbers.
He is. everyone's gonna get. He is like Amon-Ra St. Brown Jr. Like
Yeah, he's
slot
good.
receiver going for 100+ a game. Like,
Yeah, he's gross. So I would take AJ over DK. Would you do AJ Brown or Mike Evans?
but AJ, he's a
Yeah,
little younger.
me too. I'll take AJ Brown
Just
too.
because of
AJ Brown or Amon-Ra?
probably AJ Brown.
Me too.
I
This is
know.
on,
The
I think
Lions
AJ
will
Brown's
get mad
way
at that.
better than people give him credit for.
I know.
AJ Brown or this is not even good. So I'm gonna skip over Zay Flowers. AJ Brown or Scary Terry?
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown
You
too.
gotta.
AJ Brown or Jamar Chase?
Jamar.
Me too. I'd take Jamar Chase as well.
I know.
AJ Brown or Tyreek Hill? Really close.
AJ Brown. I don't know why. The age.
Very, very, very.
Maybe they're not
very
even
close.
that far off in age. I don't know.
It's very, very, very close.
But you know what? AJ Brown puts up, like you would say, AJ Brown still puts up numbers with a real subpar.
Yeah, so I'm
quarterback.
gonna go AJ Brown just due to the fact that he's done it with Jalen Hurts, which is the most impressive part. We'll do AJ Brown or CeeDee Lamb.
Oh man, that to me, they're like Cowboys fans might hate that. I think they're like neck and neck. I don't know who I'd rather have.
I'd take AJ Brown.
He's bigger, right?
I would take AJ Brown. Yeah, I mean, CD is unbelievable, but I would take AJ.
Wide receivers bother me as a whole. They all just cry. Oh, AJ Brown or Debo? How about that?
Oh, AJ Brown, 100%. I have a couple more. So do you AJ or CD?
Ah, man. AJ.
I'll go AJ as well.
Help me, man.
AJ Brown or Puka Nacua?
Puka. Puka is up there, and I got in this conversation this weekend. To me, it's Jefferson, Chase. You can flip-flop them. Puka, I think, right now is number 3. This guy, doesn't matter if he's running the ball. The catches he made this weekend put him in that top 5 category automatically.
He is very, very,
the fact
very
that
good.
everyone on Buffalo knew that these jet sweeps were coming and he was going to run the ball, and this guy was still getting 10 yards a clip on wide receiver end arounds and throwing the ball up to him in double coverage.
He's really good. He's really good. I would take AJ over him, but
I would say right behind him, just because Puka is.
It's so close. Like Puka is just weird. I think Puka, AJ, CD, and Tyreek are like.
But again,
I'm not
like
arguing
if
anyone.
AJ Brown was on the team with an arm talent like Stafford, what could he be?
I think he would be unbelievable. So I'm gonna take AJ over Puka, and the last one, obviously, AJ or JJ.
Man, JJ.
JJ is the most.
I mean,
JJ's solidified number 1. So I would do the only 2 guys right now I would take over AJ Brown would be Chase and Jettis. So
after watching this weekend, it really does bring it. Like Jordan Addison is really good. Like
he's unbelievable.
No hate. Like no shade that I said I would take T. Higgins over him, but I really do think it's a closer conversation. Being like
But that's what I'm saying. I think too many people do this with the conversation. That's why I brought up the T. Higgins thing to begin with, because I think too many people have T. Higgins automatically. You can't have a conversation with him. Like you saw people in the comments, top 20 receiver in the league, top 15 receiver in the league. It's I don't think so.
He drops more passes than I realized. Like
when he's on the field, he plays great. And like you said, he's not on the field all the time. And when he is on the field, he definitely competes with Chase. Like he puts up big crazy stat lines. Like he's good. It's just I think Jordan Addison showed you, like, if you're going to make the argument, oh, T. Higgins competes with Jamar Chase, well, look what Jordan Addison did last week with Justin Jefferson.
There was a point at the, beginning of this year that I was like, let Chase walk. Don't pay him $40 million. Let you have T. Higgins.
Yeah.
But now I'm like,
you can't
let Higgins walk.
Yeah, you can't let Chase go. Yeah.
So
I mean, look what Chase is doing, and they're still not winning games. I guess that was kind of the argument. But
listen, and when you pay 2 guys the amount of money that they're paid, you have no defense. Like this is and that's the Bengals' biggest problem. And every week it's the same thing. Like
I do think it could be a little bit of coaching as well, though, because it's like they have a pass rusher
Taylor?
who leads the league in sacks, Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah. That's because their cornerbacks are so bad. They could just he gets his sacks, but then you have all these quarterbacks who are still throwing for. I love Russell Wilson. He's almost going for 500 yards against them. Like, come on.
I know. I agree. It's ridiculous.
They're just horrible.
Sleeper pick. I do think the Bengals sneak into the playoffs. Could go all the way.
They could.
I mean, it's a tall. I think them and the Rams are the scariest 2 teams. Like, I think other teams are like, hey, I know they're way on the outside looking in, But
Well, hey,
those
look,
two teams sneak in. Watch out,
who do you like more to make the playoffs? So
Rams.
Dolphins, Bengals,
Bengals.
right now, because I think they're in similar.
They're in similar spots, but the
Dolphins have to play the Texans this week, so that's
the Broncos have to play every team they're competing against. They have to play the Bengals, the Colts, Miami, and they're all in the same boat.
I worry about the last week of the year, what's going to happen, because I mean, teams are shying away from this now, but like, do the Chiefs rest players the last week of the year if they have a 2-game lead on Buffalo or whoever else, like, but again, every time a team rests the last week of the season, then they have a bye week and then they have a game. They say, oh, well, we took too much time off. So it's going to be,
I think the Bengals win out and sneak in. They're like plus 400 to make the playoffs right now. So they're really not favored to make it at all.
The defense has to turn it around.
I know.
Every week it's like,
their schedule's easy.
Is it that?
It's easy.
All right.
Yeah. Like Browns, Titans, Browns. I don't know.
Oh, they play the Titans this week, right?
Yeah, I think like the Bengals to finish out the year have the Titans, the Browns, the Broncos, the Steelers. So Titans, Browns, they should be win. Broncos, Steelers, like
Steelers. That's going to be a tough one.
I know, but it's the end. It's the end of the year. Game. It could be to make or break the playoffs. Like if division game, like I don't know. Close, but I do think the Bengals have a real chance to make the playoffs. I know it's a crazy thing to say because their record hasn't shown it and their defense has been terrible. But if they got in, I wouldn't want to play them.
Did you see? Did you watch the Hard Knocks with the AFC North?
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces, but
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces.
I watched the first episode yesterday.
Tomlin and those guys.
Yeah. Hey, like seeing the Browns offensive line coach or whatever, just like amping up the linemen.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome. Let's see. All right, we got the other we wanted to do the who would you rather Sam Darnold edition.
Oh, okay.
Now that Sam Darnold's coming up, he's on a 1-year deal. If you're Minnesota, and I asked AJ and Giacomo this yesterday, how many years do you give him, and what's the number? What do you think he gets? With J.J. McCarthy coming back, that they don't know.
I would trade J.J. McCarthy. I would keep Darnold. I don't know what the number is to keep him, but I'd keep Darnold. I'd trade McCarthy going into the draft to a team that needs a quarterback. He played great in the preseason. I think you can get a lot for him right now. So I would trade him. And Darnold, I don't think Darnold is necessarily the reason that the Minnesota Vikings are winning all these football games. Yeah. But I definitely think he and Justin Jefferson are on the same page. He threw for 5 touchdowns last week. Addison likes him. Jefferson likes him.
Yeah, they're all on board.
Kevin O'Connell is great. I like him. I'd give him.
He's only 27.
Yeah, I know. He's a year older than Bo Nix.
I wasn't gonna say it.
I'd give him a big deal. I mean, I would, depending on how things shake in the playoffs, how he rises to the occasion. We'll see. There's a lot of football to be played. How does he finish out the year? Where do they end up in the seeding? How does he play in a big moment? It's all going to determine it. But I mean, I don't think the guy needs to win a Super Bowl to get
right now. Let's say they go into the playoffs, right? And let's say they win the wild card round, and then let's say they lose to Detroit by 10. Do you think he gets a 3-year $90 million?
Oh, more,
right?
way more. Yeah, way more.
So you think he's over that $30 million a year?
Yo, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
So,
dude, fuck yes, I do.
So, I'm trying to put
Danny Dimes got $40 million a year fucking however many years ago.
Well, then look, it turned around. They're like one-hit wonder. Are they going to do that again?
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold's 11-2.
I know.
Sam Darnold's 11-2, dude.
I'm just thinking realistically with the draft pick.
I'm paying him $48 million a year.
So do you think he gets like a 3-year deal or like a 4-year deal?
I think he can get a 5-year deal.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, why not? He's only
I would give
27.
him 5 years. I would give him 5 years, $43 million a year.
Wow. I would offer him. I would like the initial conversation's probably gonna be 5 years, $150. Do you want it or no? And then see what he says to that.
5 years, $150,
$30 million a year.
Are you kidding me? I mean, if he takes that, he's crazy.
I know, but that's what I would offer him though, because it's and then you have to see where the guaranteed money lies. I'm just trying to think of.
Dude, if I was Sam Darnold and they offered me 5 years, $30 million,
how much
and I'm
Baker?
The Jets, I'd go out and pay him back.
How much should Baker get?
I don't know how much
because
bigger.
their like trajectory is like Darnold. Obviously, the record is better this year, but he also has a much better team. They're the same in the sense that high draft pick, same year actually, both written off for a couple years.
He's
Now
through the
both
2026. Mayfield's cap hit is 6.9 million. That escalates to 35.77 million in 2025 and 45.77 million in 2026.
so he'll be somewhere around probably that
45 million.
$45 million.
That's what I'm saying,
range,
and
yeah.
that is 1,000,000,000% what Sam Darnold is worth.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to argue against it. He just
Yeah,
threw
there's no doubt about it.
he just threw 5 touchdowns.
Him, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, like
And we said in the beginning of the year, this is the best team offensively he will ever. There's no other team in the NFL that has the offensive.
I mean, if
firepower
I'm the
they do.
Vikings, I'm going in and I'm giving the spiel of
You
look
can't-
at these quarterbacks who take all this money and their teams go down the tubes. Like, help us build this team. Take a little bit less. Let's go to
That's
the
what
Super
I'm
Bowl.
saying, like, take-
yeah, maybe
that's what I'm
they'll
saying.
squeeze them for 33, 38, like 33 to 35 million dollars a year. Maybe they'll squeeze them. That would be stupid on Sam Darnold. If I'm Sam Darnold, I don't give a shit. I mean, I get it. Everyone wants to win, but like for me, give me as much money as humanly fucking possible. I would go back to the Jets for 45 million.
He's already made so much, you know.
Yeah,
just
but it
being
does-
off. But like I know you don't never want to take less, but it's like that's why I was saying
I'd go
like,
to the Rams.
I think he
Who
would
knows
take-
how long the Stafford's got?
I
left.
think he would take a hometown discount if the Vikings threw in an extra year. Like I think teams out there will offer him that 4-year, $100+ million, but I think he would take a team friendly deal for the Vikings, saying there's no other roster. Where am I going to go? The Jets? Like no, I'm not going to go back there. I already failed
I'd go to
there once.
LA though, depending on what Matt Stafford's got going.
Yeah, but you know what? That means they trade Cup and you just have Puka left, and it's different from having Jefferson and Addison.
I get it, but I'm
He's
just
a
going to
smart
the money.
kid, right? I know. But you also, with success comes longevity, right? And if you go to the Rams and you fail, right? Let's say you have bad 2-3 years, you're not getting another contract.
Yeah, but like at that point, you've
Sam
already made the
Darnold-
money.
If Sam Darnold does pretty well in the Vikings and he gets off the next contract at 32,
Vikings will not let him go. They're going to pay him.
No, yeah.
They're going to pay him 40. I think they're going to pay him $45 million a year.
Yeah.
I think they might get higher than that because I think other teams are going to compete for him.
Oh yeah, 100%. Someone's gonna start a bidding war for him.
Yeah,
Like
I wouldn't be shocked if Sam Darnold got $48 million a year.
You know what? At this point, we watched Love get 55 and Trevor 60. So you know what? 48's a discount.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, I think that's what he's worth.
And
I
you
think
know
he's
what? That's
worth
where I'm at,
anywhere from 42 to 48 million is what I think he's worth.
we got 5 minutes left on our timer, 6. But I'll ask you this: would you rather have Sam Darnold next year, like after he signs his contract, or Jordan Love?
Well, Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Okay. Sam Darnold or Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
Okay. All right.
Jared Goff. Yeah, I mean, it's close. I think
Purdy.
it's so hard because you don't know who Purdy is outside of his team. I think he's good, but his team was hurt this year and they struggled. I really don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's a coin flip, but right now, the way Darnold's playing, it's hard to not lean Darnold.
Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence.
Man,
These are tough.
it's really, really, really hard. I think Sam Darnold's right in this conversation. That's where I think he is. I think Trevor Lawrence has gotten a bad shake. He's played really well, and he's just not really getting a lot for it. But I mean, you could see what the right situation does. So I think if they switch teams, I think Trevor would have the same success.
Oh, yeah.
So it's hard to make a decision right now. If you're going to give me Sam Darnold, like if they're both going to the same team, I'd probably take T-Law.
Yeah.
But I think you can't it's the same old thing. Like if the Niners are fully healthy, Brock Purdy would be in the MVP conversation.
It's hard to say, like, hey, would T-Law be better on the Vikings? It's hard to be better than 11-2.
Yeah, it's not. But I think they would. I think the numbers from a quarterback perspective would be the same. You don't know if all these games would shake out the same way, but I think like Purdy, T-Law, Sam Darnold, Baker. I think these guys are that's like Geno Smith, Kyler Murray. Like, that's where I think that he has cemented himself in the conversation.
It would be a real tough, like, hey, John, would we rather have on the Jets next year, Baker or Sam or Gino? Like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, listen, I love
Maybe Baker?
Baker just because his mentality is such a gamer and he's such a, like, put his head down, get the first down. He's such a locker room guy that it's hard to not roll with Baker. When guys are that similarly talented, you need somebody who's immense. Like, you need somebody who's a click above Baker in talent to take him over Baker. Because if they're neck and neck, you got to take Baker. Yeah,
just because he'll go run for 20 yards, put his head down,
and just barrel somebody. And even if he doesn't get the first down, and when he does get the first down, he's up in their face, fired up. Like, he's like Dan Campbell on the field.
He really is.
I mean, he's got the mentality of like an offensive lineman. I mean, he's just like a get up, get in your face guy. I love him.
Yeah, watching him week in and week out is just.
He's the man.
Incredible.
He's the man. He's the man. So I like Baker. So you need to enter a different talent level for me to take you over Baker. Because if your talent and your numbers are right in that same category, I'm taking Baker.
Baker or Jalen Hurts?
Baker all day. I've said that before the season started, and everyone looked at me like I had fucking 10 heads. Baker's the only guy who knocked off the Lions.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, and when his team was fully healthy, they were fucking putting up 40 a week.
I remember how Baker did it. A 10-yard scramble to the end zone where he juked out two linebackers, lowered his shoulder, and trucked the quarterback to the end zone.
Dude,
it's like,
Jalen
that's Baker.
Hurts and Jordan Love are you'd be hard pressed to get me to take them.
All right, Jalen Hurts or Will Levis?
Jalen Hurts. Yeah, Jalen Hurts. Obviously, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is like the 20th best quarterback.
We'll end it here and pick back up.
All right,
let's get into the picks.
All right, I will say, because I just want to get to this quick. So I know this happened on Sunday night. Dylan's a big Yankee fan. I do want to hear the non-biased take of your honest thoughts of Juan Soto. So I go on Twitter. I go on Twitter all the time, right? I feel like there's a different Yankee fandom from the people that are like live down into the city, where the people like where we are in a little upstate New York that are more like realistic Yankee fans.
Yeah.
But like you go online, you see the Yankee fans are like, "Oh, screw him, Mets terrible deal. Like he's gonna suck. Have fun with a DH in 5 years, right?" And they go on, but it's like if the Yankees signed him and they offered him like the same contract, they wouldn't be saying anything.
I think the Yankees offered him like $740, right?
Yeah, like one more year too. Didn't they offer him like one more year and like?
I don't know. I mean, long story short is you go with the money, right? I mean, period. The end. Like so. Everyone's like, oh, it's only $30 million more. It's like $30 million more. Are you fucking nuts? $30 million.
That's taxes.
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane. And he gets to stay in New York. So Mets do have a history of signing these superstar players, and they go to die.
Usually at an older age.
Jason Bay went there and died. Fucking, I mean, like like a lot of their players, they go there.
Yeah,
Beltran, Delgado, Pedro, fucking Johan, like. I mean, the list goes on.
Johan had a couple good years, though.
He did have a couple good years, but I'm just saying he was unbelievable in Minnesota. He did play good for the Mets. I think he threw no hitter for the Mets, but
yeah, he did. Yeah,
but whatever. I mean, if I'm I don't blame Soto one bit. You go to the money, man. And Steve Cohen's a baller. Like he's just gonna go out there. I mean, he flat out came out and said, "Whoever offers him, it's not even worth offering him any money because I'm just gonna bid $50 million more."
I know.
And he went out and he did it, and he got his guy. So good for the Mets. He'll fill the stadium for sure. And he's a great clutch, big time, big moment guy. I'd take him over Judge in a heartbeat.
Would you have been fine as a Yankee fan, signing him to the years?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, it's hard to say I wouldn't have wanted Soto just because of how good he did and how close they were.
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, obviously I would have liked to see the Yankees have re-signed him. He's a fucking gamer. He comes through in the biggest moments. He's just fucking ready to play baseball. I mean, the guy's the most intense guy in the league. So yeah, I think the Mets got a great baseball player. But on the other note, I'm very happy to see the Yankees, who now have all this money to spend, like Max Fried and free agents,
right?
Yeah. Did they sign him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Max Fried,
pending physical.
Yeah. So there you go. Max Fried to the Yankees. I mean, somebody said they're going after Pete Alonso. You could do away with that with me, but
I feel like Pete Alonso and Judge back to back would just be a nightmare.
Yeah.
And, it's so tough because I feel like the Yankees really needed him in the lineup in the playoffs with how bad Judge has just proven now that he just doesn't hit well, right? I mean, we're on playoff
I've been
number
saying that for
5 for
years.
him. Like, I'm sorry, like he's not batting over 200 in the playoffs.
He gets you there and then he collapses. He's like Lamar.
Like you needed Juan Soto to. And I know everyone's like, oh, all he does is work the pitcher and get a walk. Never really comes up. All that matters is
He hit a home run to get us there.
Yeah, like getting on base is the biggest part. I was a little shocked that like going to the NL, right? Like going to the Mets, the road to the World Series for the next 3-4 years is much harder. The Braves, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Padres are all unbelievable, and the Brewers. For staying in the AL, you don't really have to go through any tough
The
teams.
problem is the NL, the AL East is tough.
Not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like Tampa Bay
Baltimore
took a
is
huge
fantastic.
step back. Baltimore ended up did they make the playoffs? No, right?
No, but they're
And then
really,
the Red Sox are, they're always involved in going after a free agent that they just don't get, so they're just mediocre.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay took a step back. So look at their run to the World Series this year is the Royals.
If I was the Yankees or if I was a big market team, I don't understand why the big money doesn't go to the pitching. Like I would just stack pitching. I get it for the smaller market teams who need to fill the stadiums and sell the jerseys because it's 162 games, dude. And like you go to Tropicana Field in fucking April, it's empty.
It's empty.
But it's like so I understand these small markets wanting to go and get a big guy, but bigger markets it's kind of hard, when you have one or two big ticket names already, it's kind of like, dude, like, what are we doing here? Just stack up on pitching, which looks like the Yankees they got their hand forced to do that.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Which could be a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing. So would I have liked to see the Yankees get Soto? Of course. But since they didn't, do I think it's the end of the world? No.
And let's say, like, I know they're like, 750, maybe 750 million Yankees are being cheap. Listen, they ended up coming back with basically the same offer. He turned it down for more money. This is going to cost Cohen, I don't know if this is a true report, with luxury tax, $1.69 billion. That's a lot of money. It's not like 750 million. Yeah, like that's a good chunk of change, but it ends up with the luxury tax being over double that.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they have right now with Scherzer on the payroll still.
Oh, they're going to fix that, I would think.
They're already, like, you know what? Like, paying that much money over that period of time, that's insane amount of money to pay. It just shows how rich these guys are. But that's why it always bothered me that the Dodgers were doing all these deferred payments because they can sign all these people. The owner could sell the team in 10 years and be like, his problem now.
Yeah.
And then get away with not having to pay anybody.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's insane. I don't know. But the good thing he didn't. If he went to the Dodgers on another deal like that, it would almost be like baseball's unwatchable at this point.
Yeah,
like,
I
you have
agree.
to make a rule at some point. But all right, it was good. I just wanted to hear, it's the big news that came out this week, and I always like seeing what the Yankees fans thought. And so you thought the same way I did, and Greg did. He went to where the money was.
Yeah, I would go do it too, dude.
He already won a World Series. He's
Yeah.
not from this country. What does it matter to him?
He's way older than he says, like you said. I mean,
that could be a real thing, dude.
It is a real thing. You think Juan Soto's 26? Give me a break. Guy's like fucking. Guy's like the guy from Benchwarmers. I am 12.
I know, and everyone.
Juan Soto's 32.
I brought that up that like this stuff has happened before, and everyone looks at me like I have 5 heads. It's like, no, like people have just gotten caught in the past year in farm systems being like 4 years older than what they are.
Yeah. So wait, granted, wanted him. Not gonna be a weirdo and be like, we didn't want him anyway. We wanted him. We didn't get him. I give all the credit in the world for Soto to go into the Mets. What he should have done. Went to the money, but Yankees will stack up on pitching. They'll be back.
Yeah. All right, now, we'll get into the games now. Sorry, guys, a little late. A lot of things happening in the sports world in the past week, but this week it is week 15 now. All the buys are complete. We are now in fantasy playoff action now. Thursday night game, we have the LA Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. Sorry, the page froze for a second. 49ers are -3, over under 49.5.
I'm going Rams +3. This is the playoff push, man. They won their last 2, kept themselves alive. Do I think that they're gonna make it? I think it's close, but they need to basically win out, if they want to be in the playoff conversation. So big game. They're getting a field goal, division game, Thursday night. Biggest game of the year for both. I guess both teams, because I guess Niners aren't statistically
This is
out.
both the playoff push for both of them.
Yeah, for both of them. So whoever takes the game, and give me McVay, give me the Rams. Stafford comes through in a big way. Rams get the W here.
I know this is a tougher game because of like the history between Shanahan and McVay, or Shanahan is owned, but I just think there's so many injuries, especially for the 49ers defense, that it's just so tough to overcome. It got overshadowed this week because they played the Bears, and the Bears are terrible.
Yeah, so bad.
I
took the Bears because of the injuries, and it just didn't matter.
It didn't. They're terrible.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know what? I thought they would get like a little boost from the head coach fired. Didn't matter. They're awful. I'm going to take the Rams too, +3. I think Puka and Kupp and Kyron Williams have just been playing out of this world. Playoff push starts now for both teams, but
breaking news: Bill Belichick is finalizing a deal to become the head coach
North
at
Carolina.
UNC.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
I told this to Shane yesterday. I saw reports that he sent something to North Carolina saying, I will take the position, and had like stipulations in there saying, when I'm done, my son will become head coach.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I don't know how true those were. I saw that yesterday, but it wasn't by Schefter. So I was like, it's a little shady, but wow. I mean, Bill, hey, our first breaking
sorry,
news.
I didn't mean to cut you off. It popped up on my phone.
No. But I mean, that just
completely irrelevant. Who cares that Bill Belichick's going to coach UNC? Like, I mean,
can you see him coaching college kids?
I mean, Jesus, no. I mean, just like what a way to waste your legacy.
I really thought he was going to come back to the NFL and try to be like he could have had the most wins in NFL history over, was it Shula?
Stupid move. You can go waste your time on UNC.
Is he doing it for his son?
Yeah, I mean, if he is, hey, power to him. But
that is crazy. I can't see him.
Belichick's son had a big enough name through who Belichick was that I feel like he could have landed a job. Maybe not at UNC, but
he's already the D coordinator at Washington.
Yeah, so like, what the fuck? Stupid move.
I don't know.
Belichick to UNC.
Does his girlfriend go
Breaking news. Nobody cares.
Breaking news. Wasted the rest of your coaching.
Yeah, like wow. Brady goes to the Bucks, wins the Super Bowl. I go to UNC.
I go to UNC and don't win the ACC.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
You know what? At least he went to probably the only division in football where he can turn it around in 2 years, but who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. Wow.
So I got the Rams +3.
Yeah, Rams +3. I can't even believe that. I was a little part of me was wanting to go to the Jets, but all right. The Sunday game. Love this. Cowboys at Carolina. Carolina right now. Wow, -2.5 now. Over under 42.5. This opened at Carolina -1. Everyone's on Carolina.
Yeah, so it's tough, man, because like when you're a shitty football team and everyone goes against you, it feels if like when that little bit of a rise back to like becoming a good football team.
Yeah.
When everyone's riding you, like everyone's kind of riding the points, and like, it's nice to be like ahead of the curve. Like you kind of get on the Panthers train a little bit early. You're getting these points. You're getting these wins. You're getting these covers. It feels good. When you switch to a favorite, it's a bigger deal. I feel like it does take a toll on you.
It does something mentally.
Yeah, like it's a different level of pressure to be a favorite in the NFL. So with that said, I'm still gonna roll with the Panthers -2.5, but I wouldn't be shocked here if the Cowboys if the Cowboys come out with a win here. But I mean, I rolled with the Panthers money line over the Eagles last week, so I'm going to take the Panthers -2.5 here. I think they're playing great football.
Yeah, it's going to be a lean the Panthers for me too. Obviously, would have loved it -1, but they have played two Super Bowl contending teams the last 2 weeks and have proven to hang with both of them. Should have beat the Eagles straight up, and it took Patty Mahomes driving down the field in the last minute of the game and getting a field goal to win. So for those reasons, Panthers are riding high, and I feel like, you could just see CeeDee Lamb walking off the field last week versus the Bengals. Like, this team is gone. And now the one defender for the Cowboys is out. Not Micah Parsons, the second best defender. I forget his name. He's got a weird name. He's out too. So
Deron Bland?
Huh?
Not Deron Bland.
No, he's got a weird last name. I can't. But whatever. I've heard people say he's like their second or third best defensive player. He's out too. Carolina's been moving the ball, so I'll take him at home -2.5 too.
Yep.
We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Cleveland Browns. Browns are at home getting 4.5 points, over under 44.5.
This to me is the week where everyone hops on the Browns because of what the Chiefs have been doing.
Yeah, how bad they've been.
Yeah, like this is the week where everyone hops on the Browns. I've been against the Chiefs for a while as far as the spread is concerned, and I've been spot on. I've been pretty spot on with the Chiefs since week 1. I know that everyone's going to be riding the Browns with the 4.5 here. I think this is the week. It's getting late in the year. I think Andy Reid's going to start to dial it up a little bit, start to, figure it out a little bit. We're getting later in the year. He's fighting for the 1 seed. Give me KC to blow the doors off Cleveland here. I think they cover. I think this is the week where everyone kind of takes the Browns, thinking the Chiefs can't cover a spread to save their lives, and I think the Chiefs beat the shit out of the Browns this week.
I'm going to go with under 44.5. I know this might be weird. I just looked up the weather. We got 40 degrees, rain showers, wind 16 to 25 miles per hour.
Oh, Jesus. So wow. You would lean 4.5 then, but I still think this is the week where KC dials up some cool shit early. And I think they get off to a hot start, and I think they kind of just pound the rock from there on out.
Listen, even though I like the under, I would still lean to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs -4.5.
Just because of they don't turn the ball over as much as Jameis Winston.
And I can't take an over. I can't take an under in a Jameis Winston game. Just can't do it.
I know it really goes against everything that I
just can't do it. I mean, the guy is just. I don't know. He's either throwing three pick sixes or 4 touchdowns.
He has a problem. Like it's. And you know what? Everyone who wants Jameis Winston on their team, I love watching him when he's not on. Like if he wasn't on my team, because he's electric to watch. But you can't fix the turnovers he has at this point. It's part of him.
It's Jordan Love-esque.
it's worse.
I know. It's way worse. Obviously, I'm just fucking around.
I know, but it's a similar area.
Yeah.
Like hey, they're 1 and 2 in the league in receptions, so you're not too far off. All right, we got the Dolphins at the Houston Texans. Texans coming off a bye. They're -2.5. Over under 46.5.
Texans -2.5. Tua's played outstanding. It's gotten overshadowed because the team just hasn't come away with a lot of wins. But Tua's played great since he's came back, and I don't expect that to change. So maybe you would lean over here, over to 46.5, because I think both teams will score points. But I don't know. I just feel like I'm kind of leaning towards hoping the Bengals sneak into the playoffs, and if the Bengals sneak into the playoffs, you kind of need the Dolphins to lose. So I'm gonna go with a little bit of biasness here, hoping the Joey B gets in, and I'm gonna lean towards the Texans getting a W here.
I'm gonna go over 46.5.
Yeah, I like that pick.
I think the Dolphins can score on anybody, and I think Houston off a bye. I think Nico Collins comes back, and they get back into a groove of things.
I like the over here.
C.J. Stroud has heard nothing but a sophomore slump coming up this year. So over 46.5 I'll do. Next game, we have the New York Jets traveling to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. The Jets are -3, over under 40.5.
I'm going to take +3. I'm going to take +3. I want to lean over. Over 40.5.
Mac Jones, abysmal.
He's not. Is T.Y. not coming back this week?
No, he's on RR from the concussion still. Mac Jones.
Give me over 40.5. Give me over 40.5. Jets defense is a shell of what it used to be, and I think that they've created new ways to lose football games. So I don't necessarily know that they're gonna be able to lose to the Jaguars, but I don't know. I would say both teams score points here. Give me over 40.5.
This line this morning was Jacksonville +3.5, and I would have loved.
That's what I'm looking at here. I would have taken Jags +3.5 all day. I would have even taken Jags +3, but over 40.5. 40 is low, dude. 40 is low.
Yeah, very low.
So give me over 40.5. I think the Jets are going to find a way to score some points, and I think Jacksonville will hang in there just because the Jets don't know how to end games or close games out. So.
I'll do the Jets -3. I mean, they're familiar with or a little familiar with Mac Jones at this point. They've played him when he was in New England a couple years. They got to beat somebody. These end of the games troubles that they go through are just crazy to me that they let this stuff happen. They should have beat the Miami Dolphins last week in Miami. If they did that, I don't know what this line would be. But it's Devontae Adams catches the ball on 4th and 8 and goes out of bounds to stop. If he stays in bounds, they kick the field goal, and the Dolphins have 30 seconds, 20 seconds left to go down and score to win the game. But they just can't help themselves. They're finding new ways to lose every single week, but I'll take them to beat Jacksonville -3, so that means they'll probably push.
What are we looking like here?
We still have 11 minutes.
All right.
Next game, we have the Commanders at the New Orleans Saints. Commanders -7.5, over under 43.
I'll take Saints plus 7.5.
No Derek Carr.
Spencer Rattler?
I don't know. Let me look it up.
Spencer Rattler's my guy.
Spencer Rattler is my guy.
I love Jaden Daniels, but 7.5 just seems like it's a lot. It's just, if it was 7, I would probably lean Commanders, but 7.5 is a lot. So I'll take the Saints. I don't love it, but I'll take the Saints in the 7.5. Saints are at home, right?
Saints are at home, yeah.
Yeah, Saints at home getting more than a touchdown. Give me the Saints plus 7.5. I like the Commanders. I know they need to win really bad because they're like just barely hanging on to that last wild card spot by a thread. But
Darren Rizzi said that Derek Carr is still in concussion protocol. He will not go to the IR, and that was today at 3:40. So I'm going to lean that he's
yeah. I'm either way, regardless of who's playing. I'm going to take the Saints in the 7.5 at home.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'll go with the Commanders -7.5. To me, this is a good tease spot. If you do, 6 or 10 point tease to get the Commanders down through the 7 and down into the 1 territory. But Commanders off a bye. I think they're, now that Daniels is a little rested up, maybe he gets to move more.
Yeah.
This Saints team, they beat the Giants by 3, who also, pitiful, who's trying to lose. So, you know what? No Taysom Hill, no Derek Carr. The defense is banged up at this point. The offense is banged up. So I'm going to go with the half point stinks, but
yeah, that's why I'm rolling. That's why I'm rolling Saints.
I'll do the -7.5 in the dome. I think Commanders can score some points. Next game, another ugly game. We have the Ravens at the Giants. The Ravens are -16, over under 42.5.
Jesus Christ.
Ravens off a bye.
I'll take the Giants plus 16. And Jesus, that's horrible. I'll take the Giants plus 16.
This is ugly.
Yeah, this is a weird game.
Anything over that creeps over the 14.5 territory, I'm like,
yeah, it's crazy.
They score 1 touchdown, this thing's in danger of.
Yeah. So I'll give me the Giants in the 16. I hate it, but give me the Giants. That's just too many points in the NFL.
I'm going to go over 42.5. I think the Ravens jump out to like a real early lead, just beat them down, and somehow the Giants score 2 touchdowns at the end of the game to probably cover the spread and probably hit the over.
There you go.
So wow, I haven't seen a spread that big in a while. What were the Panthers last week and the Eagles? You remember?
13, 12.5 or 13.
Wow. It's crazy. All right, Bengals at the Titans. Bengals are -4.5, over under 46.5.
Bengals in a landslide. Bengals in a landslide. I think the Bengals win this game by a lot. So
yeah,
I'll take the Bengals -4.5. No explanation needed. If they expect to do anything with this season, they need to win this game by a lot and prove a point, get their team motivated. Prove to everybody they could still make a fight, push for the playoffs. Hope a couple teams lose. Hopefully they win out. I'm just going to roll Bengals -4.5. I don't think it'll be close.
Titans couldn't score on the Jaguars. They didn't score a touchdown. I think they scored, 3 points? Did they lose 10-3 last week? And the Jaguars don't have a good defense at all. So I'm going to go Bengals -4.5. I wouldn't be surprised here if they beat them by 30.
Yeah, me neither. Like this is points bet territory.
Yeah, like I just don't see the Titans defense has been slowly giving up, and Will Levis and that offense are just horrible. I watched on 3rd and 4 Calvin Ridley catch an out route at the end of the game last week, and instead of getting the first down,
He just ran
right out of bounds.
I saw it too, yeah.
To stop the clock, and then they don't get it on fourth down.
Yeah, that was terrible.
He saved what? How long does it take a wide receiver in the NFL to go 2 yards?
Yeah, I know.
An eighth of a second. I mean, that was bad. I just think they're just completely giving up. But all right, how much? What are we at in time here? Let me look. Rifling through. Oh, we still have 6 minutes and 40 seconds. All right, we have the Patriots at the Cardinals. Patriots plus 6.5. Over under 46.
I'm gonna go Cardinals minus 6.5. I like the Patriots, but 6.5 is a weird number. Cardinals fucking need to do something. I've been on the wrong side of them, so you're better off fading me here. But I'm gonna go Cardinals minus 6.5. They're a much better football team, and last week was just such a devastating loss that hopefully it doesn't affect them this week. But if they want to have any kind of fight left in them, then they need to beat the shit out of the Patriots. So I'll lay the 6.5.
I'm gonna take the 6.5. I guess Patriots off a bye. I'm gonna kick myself for taking the Patriots here. I already know it because Kyler Murray doesn't have 3 bad games in a row, right? I mean, It's just like I know he's a sporadic player, but he's looked. Last week for Seattle, he looked bad.
Yeah, that was terrible. I thought they were going to win outright. But
yeah, me too. Like that was one of my favorite games of the week.
Me
just
too.
To tune in, and you know what? The score wasn't. It's so hard to say in the NFL, but Kyler Murray threw 2 awful picks. That's the reason Seattle won the game, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like he's the toughest quarterback. He has so much talent, but then he does the stupidest thing sometimes where you're like, is he actually a good quarterback? I still think he is, but
I get it. He's in a roller coaster.
Patriots off a bye. I'll take the points, but the Cardinals need this game bad, bad. So next game we have the Colts at the Broncos. Colts are plus 3.5. Over under 44.
I'll take the Colts in the 3.5. This is a big game for both teams. Both kind of in the same spot, fighting for wild card. Bo Nix has played really good. I wouldn't be shocked if they win, but the hook is what gets me here. I think both teams. It's a playoff game for both teams.
Yep.
Both need it really bad. So it'll probably come down to the wire. I could see the Broncos squeaking out a win here, but the 3.5 is what gets me. So give me the Colts in the 3.5.
I'm going to go opposite. One of us is going to have a decent week this week. I got to go with the Broncos at home here. Outdoors with Indy. I have no idea who the Colts are at this point. Where Anthony Richardson has looked awesome, then he has looked horrendous. Denver's defense is really good coming off a bye. They'll be preparing to play him. To just prepare for that defense it'll be a nightmare for him in Denver. So I'm in cold weather game. I'll go with the Broncos. I hate the hook minus 3.5, but I just don't trust the Colts at all. So, give me the Broncos. All right, we'll roll. Game of the week coming up this week. We have the Bills at the Lions. Lions minus 2.5. Over under 54.
Yeah, I can't. I know the over's going to hit, but I'm not going to take it. I'm going to take the Lions minus 2.5.
Extra rest.
Yeah, I just think that the Lions are the real deal. I know Buffalo is too, but it just I know Buffalo's off a heartbreaking loss, so they probably have a lot of motivation to get this W here, a lot of motivation to get back on track. But I just don't see anybody kind of stopping the Lions train right now. So if it was three, I would take the 3 points with Buffalo. But 2.5. They only got to win by a field goal, and I think they have a good possibility of winning the game by 10+. So
give me 54. Over 54.
Yeah. Listen, you're not. I know the over probably will hit. These two are over machines.
I know. It just seems like the Bills' defense is terrible. Awful. And right now the Lions have a couple injuries on defense, which is why so many people were high on the Packers last week. Both these teams score 30 at will. So. You got a dome game, perfect for the first round of fantasy playoffs with Josh Allen as my quarterback. I'll take over 54.
Okay.
We got next the Buccaneers are at the LA Chargers. Buccaneers are plus 3, over under 46.5.
I'll go Bucks plus 3.
Don't know if Lad McConkey's playing. I would assume.
I'll go Bucks +3. Bucks are just Bucks are a team that, man, they've been so close in a lot of these games, and I think their season could have shook out a totally different way. But I still think they're going to win the division. I still think they're going to get into the playoffs. And I know Chris Godwin hurts them not being there for the last few weeks, but I still think that the Bucks are going to score a lot of points regardless of how good Chargers defense is played. I know Herbert's really good. They're at home. Big game for them as well. But, I think these teams are a lot closer than maybe the public thinks. So give me if they're that close and I really can't make the call, give me the points. So give me Tampa Bay +3.
I'll do the same thing because Chargers don't have home field. I think the Bucks are much better on offense. Obviously, not as good as defense. I actually think Dobbins being out really hurts the Chargers. And obviously, if Lad McConkey doesn't play, then I love the Bucks.
Yeah,
this is all Bucks all day long. If all he has is Palmer to throw to, so. I'll take the better offensive team with the points with you. Next up, another game really excited for. The Steelers are at Philadelphia. Steelers are now +5.5, over under 42.5.
I think it's +5.5 because I don't know if Pickens is playing.
Oh, really?
I don't think Pickens is playing.
Oh, that's devastating.
Yeah, that's a big time reason for the spread being what it is. But still, give me the Steelers. Give me the Steelers +5.5. I don't care who plays. It hasn't done me right this year. I mean, last week.
Yeah, doubtful.
Last week I took the Panthers because they've been playing really good, and I actually took a money line and got my heart broken on the drop touchdown. I just think the Steelers defense is going to be way too much for Hurts to handle. I think the Eagles team is the same story I've had and the same take I've had since before the season started. The Eagles team is absolutely unbelievable, and they're just held back by Jalen Hurts. So I don't think Hurts is going to get it done. Maybe the team gets it done. Maybe they cover the spread. They're good enough to do it for sure. Good enough to go far into the playoffs. It's just Jalen Hurts, I don't think, gets this team over the hump, especially against great defenses. So I'll take the Steelers in the 5.5.
I am going to as well. Mike Tomlin as a dog has always been overperformed. I don't like all the noise from – I'm not saying Philly doesn't win the game. I could easily see them win the game, but I just feel like there's going to be a Sirianni decision to go for it at some point that's just going to bite him in the ass. So they try to go for it on 4th and 3, and the Steelers' defense comes up with a big stop, and then Russ goes down the field and scores. Right? Like, I could easily see that happening. So – 5.5 is a lot of points. I know Pickens is unbelievable, but I think this will be a closer game. The Philly, to be honest, has been an awful first quarter team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think they have scored on one first drive, which are all scripted plays, this whole entire season.
Yeah.
So one thing I would like is probably Steelers first quarter, but I'll take Steelers for the game +5.5.
Me too.
We have next, the Packers are at the Seattle Seahawks. DraftKings has the Packers -2.5, over under 45.5.
I'm gonna roll Packers -2.5 here. This is more just I think that I don't know. I guess I'm looking too far ahead into the playoff picture and stuff, but I'm kind of pulling for Arizona to kind of get back into the hunt here. And I know that Seattle kind of kicked them while they were down last week, needing that game. Yeah. And I think they're coming off a high. Now they're pretty much solidified in the lead for the division. I think that they're going to go into this game at home. It's a tough place to play. I think they're just going to be a little bit too high on their high horse this week, and I think the Packers are going to come in and knock them down a peg. So I think I'll take the Packers -2.5.
I can easily see that. Like, Seattle's won a lot of good games in a row.
Yeah.
So it's like this is their versus the Giants.
Yeah. I mean, that ruined my year.
I'm going to go at over 45.5.
I like that.
Weather looks good in Seattle in the mid-40s and sunny. I think you have two offenses that are capable of scoring. So over 45.5 doesn't seem like enough to me.
Yep.
So I like that. Next, that's the Sunday night game. We have 2 Monday night games this week for some reason. Always hate that. First one are the Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are minus 6.5. Over under 44.5.
Vikings minus 6.5. There isn't another pick.
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
take
you know,
Vikings
there's not.
minus
You
6.5
can't.
too.
Who's taking the Bears in this game?
Nope, nobody.
Come on. Caleb Williams stinks.
That,
The Bears stink. They're just not any good. And the Vikings are 11-2. Sam Darnold looks fantastic. I know everyone's going to say, "Oh, he threw 5 touchdowns last week. He's due for a letdown spot." No, the division game, and the Bears just aren't any good at football. So give me the Vikings to roll the Bears here.
I've been wrong on the Bears every single time.
Yeah, me too. And they're just pissing me off. So I'm just going against the fucking Bears. Like, they suck. Like, that's it. They suck.
There's no, like, when we, in the beginning of the season, we looked so stupid picking the Jags over the Bears at one point. But if the Jags with Trevor Lawrence were playing the Bears tomorrow, I'd take the Jags.
Me too. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I can't. No, you couldn't pay me to take this team. You couldn't give me a free bet to place on this team.
No, I know.
Like, I'd say keep the free bet.
Come on. Pick them if they play the Giants.
I'd take the Giants.
I probably would.
Would you bet the house on them with my mother in it?
Yeah, I mean, this is Vikings all day, dude. This is Vikings all day, and I would lean over, but the Bears won't score.
Listen, we had this pick 3 weeks ago. The Vikings were up 10 with like 2.5 minutes left, and garbage time Caleb comes out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden they send the game to overtime. So I think the Vikings are going to be more on their toes this week.
That was the fakest final score of all time.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Defense going to have its ears pinned back, so let's go Vikings minus 6.5. Last game of the week, Falcons at the Raiders. Falcons are minus 3.5. Over under 44.5.
Yeah, I mean, Cousins, the way he's playing, you can't be weighing 3.5. You know, guy can't throw a football over 30 miles an hour. I mean,
he had the yards last week, but
I get it, and he is a roller coaster, and there's a very high possibility he snaps right back into form here, throws for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, and they smoke the Raiders. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just I can't confidently sit here before the game and say, "Oh, Vikings minus 3.5, maybe 3," and even if it was 3, I'd still be leaning home team in the points. So, 3.5, you got to roll Raiders here. Raiders plus the 3.5. The Kirk Cousins has just looked really, really bad, and you can't be weighing 3.5 playing the way he's playing.
Desmond Ridder is terrible, but man, I don't know. This is so tough. I'm gonna go over 44.5. I hate it, but I'm gonna do it. If somehow Kirk turns us around, he's getting the yards, just not the touchdowns, I guess. But it's just like watching him throw some of these interceptions are like, wow, that's like youth football level arm strength that I'm watching.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him because I know I've seen the guy throw for 500 yards in primetime against the Bucs this year. I mean, he
the
roller
threw for
coaster.
300 last week, but it's just like there's, you know what, like at the end they, soft cushion defense, but
Falcons could totally win in a landslide here. This is not like this is just I can't in good faith pick Kirk Cousins playing the way he's playing. I just can't do it.
I don't know what happened to his arm.
Yeah.
Like it's like past the point of what you guys aren't watching. He's still throwing for a lot of yards. Literally 2 weeks ago.
No, I am watching. That's why I'm picking against.
Like he registered the first time in NFL history a quarterback threw for 20 times in a game and the ball didn't go over 35 miles per hour one time.
One time. That's preposterous, dude. That's
35 miles per hour.
I mean, suit me up. Like I mean, I'm not kidding. Like that is so bad.
Like, do you know how slow that is?
Yeah, that's so slow. That is so slow, dude. 30 miles an hour?
35 or 36.
I mean, come on,
it's
dude.
like 35, 36. But first time in NFL since they've been recording it,
I
which
could
has been
fucking
a
throw
years.
a bowling ball fucking 36 miles an hour.
I've seen Dylan throw a 14-pound bowling ball 24 miles.
Like, that is crazy. That's crazy, dude. You are a grown man, dude. That's so embarrassing. Like, I like Kirk, and I was big on Kirk going to the Falcons. I thought it was the biggest off-season signing. Like, I really thought that they could have been something, but you can't throw a football over 30 miles an hour, and you're laying 3.5 points. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Give me the Raiders plus 3.5.
Serious question: Jalen Hurts or Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins. And it's not particularly close. Eagles might win the Super Bowl.
You know what? Now that the Jets are finally eliminated, I hope the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
No, stop. It's not impossible.
It's possible. All I can see is Jalen Hurts going like this with that trophy.
Oh, come on.
And Dylan in the fetal
What trophy?
position.
Because it won't be the MVP.
Oh, the Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah. Go on.
The Simpsons trophy for the.
Who's the backup there?
Oh God.
He might be hoisting it by the time they get there.
He used to be Mariota. Who is it now?
I have no idea, but whoever it is,
No,
he
Mariota's on the Commanders. Though.
if they win, he'll be the one hoisting it.
It's not Danny Dimes.
Yeah. All right.
That'll do it for us this week. Thanks for everyone. I know a longer podcast
episode
than
for sure.
usual, but you know, I think it was good. Keep following us on all social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Double or Nothing Podcast, and make sure you tune into Dylan's streams on TikTok. You see that coming up?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you,
next week,
everybody.
boys.
See you next week.